and get a sense of your body. How it's feeling. Is it relaxed? Has it got things it wants to say to you? Is it giving you sensations of your space, of the warmth? Whatever smells of room that might be around you. Just notice how it feels when you breathe in through your nostrils, what that feels like, moving air into your body. For many, the physical body is a major message giver. So, any messages that your body has for you, just acknowledge whatever that sensation is and have your body put the messages off to the side. Let those messages be there waiting for you for later. Know that you are going to pick them up, but now is the time to just the body to relax and just hold space. And as you breathe, imagine that breath coming through the sun, that it's coming through the sun from your divine home, from your divine star family. It's a message like a phone call coming down through the sun. For right now, whatever information is in that call, in that stream, say yes and let it come right through the midline of your body and anchor it in your feet on the planet. And notice what it feels like. What does it feel like when you have a phone call or a Zoom call with those that you love? That energy is filled not with just information, but affirmations of you, respect and honoring of you. And all that is there is beyond what you could sort through in this moment. It's not intended that you sort through it now, but it's there. It's in your field. Because you are here with us, it is in our field. So, this expanded field of intelligence, of warmth, of creativity, of amazing inspiration, gratitude from each of our divine homes are here for all of us together. And in this space, we know that the field extends beyond us to all those who are holding circles of broadcastings for our world around the planet. And we bring them into our circle with intention and love and gratitude. We are here in the sacred ground of sovereignty. We are totally encased in the flame of the guardian circle protocol and all that it holds. We are here to work with the crystalline kingdom, to the intelligences, the love, the qualities that they hold. We are grateful for the opportunity. Our circle is called, it is set, and so it is. So let's place ourselves into the circle, just simply name where you are on the planet and any quality that you feel to add to this field. So I'll begin. I'm Sharon Raji Maynard on Whidbey Island, and I guess I'm adding the vibrations, not of chaos, but of disruption, because my planes are flying. So disruptions in order to reframe. And I pass it to Susan.
Hello, everyone. I am Susan. I am here today in outside of St. Petersburg in Treasure Island. We're going to be here for the next 30 days, tucked away in a little condo off the beach. I have to say that since we have been here, helicopters have been flying up and down the coastline when you mention planes on the move. And they are not rescue helicopters, they are military helicopters. And at least 4 and 5 times up and down the coast in the mornings, helicopters going. So I agree with that in the field. The residents of disruption to neutralize what might be unfolding out there. And I'm complete. I will tag Arlie.
I'm Arlie. I'm just outside Wellington, New Zealand. We're not having helicopters or military planes or anything like that. So I'm filled with real excitement for what's coming and for the new year and for what we're going to see and learn today in the journey. So I'd like to bring excitement and enthusiasm to the circle. And I will call on Emma.
Hi there, everybody. I'm on my phone, so it's just too much to figure out how to make the camera work. So I am in Williamstown, Massachusetts, and I would like to bring harmony into the circle today. And I will call on Cinda.
Hello, everybody. Oh my God. I took the whole month of December off. I'm so happy to be back. Oh my gosh, you guys are so beautiful. You are so beautiful. I had no idea how really, truly how much I missed you. I am currently, like Susan was saying, I am staying in Stevenson, Washington at our property at the Skamania Coves for 6 weeks. Between managers, and so I've only been here for a few days at the start of all of it. I really want to bring in good health. That's what I want to bring in. Just good health. And I will tag Sue.
Good morning, everyone. I am Sue Rooney, and I'm just out of Seattle in Issaquah, Washington. So I've been getting that it is definitely a time of destruction, breaking down of systems, and a time of creativity. And we are creating the reality we want for ourselves in the now moment. And yesterday I was And this morning I was so irritable, I could snap anybody's head off. It would have been really easy to just bite it off. And now I got through the birthing of a new awareness, and I'm back to being at peace. And so I'm bringing peaceful creativity. Thank you. And we're back to share.
Oh, yes. Okay, so what we have in our field is disruptions to reframe and to neutralize any plans of the outsiders. Excitement for the new and enthusiasm. Harmony. Good health. And peaceful creativity. So we're adding those intentions into our field as we design this space. Okay. So let's go around and just, is there anything that you want to say or feel the need to say in relationship to our work, the crystal broadcasters, what you're noticing? This is just kind of like, where are you in your life and what's going on, especially as it relates to the crystal broadcasting? And we'll just do it, kind of concisely. We usually don't ramble on and on, but I'll say that anyway. We'll do it concisely. And let's just do a popcorn. So whoever wants to speak, when the field is open, then unmute yourself, speak. And what we're doing in these circles is, in the sacred ground circles, is allowing space after we speak for just like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, just sit and everyone be still. So if you're speaking, we've tried it many different ways. We're going to try it this way today. I think it will be better. So let's say Susan has something to say that she wants to share about her experience, and she shares, and then she's just quiet and maybe count to 10 in her own mind. And then she names, if we're going to name the next person, we're not going to name the next person with this part of it, but just, let's just count to 10 with Susan, using you as an example, Susan. So count to 10, and so we hear it and we deepen with it and respectfully hear it. So just give 10 seconds, and then whoever wants to speak next can speak. Okay, the field's open.
Well, since you used me as an example, I'll go ahead and jump right in. Here in Treasure Island, I am setting up different fields of broadcasting for the healing of the waters. Again, a year ago, we were in Maui for 2 weeks, and we worked with the glyphs and the waters off of the coast in Maui. So I have another beautiful opportunity to be here along the ocean again and to work with those beautiful waters. So I've been down at the beach every morning setting up broadcasting circles. Today was all shells and some light language glyphs written in the sand. And I've left them in little pockets and coves where the water won't wash them out. And so as I go down the beach every day, I energize somewhat like a guardian circle. I leave them there protected and watched over, and I go by and just give them a little bit of energizing as I'm walking up and down the beach. So I'm excited to be able to do that for the next 30 days. I'm complete.
That is a great color on you, Susan, and your face and your jacket are beaming the energy of that color. It's just amazing. This has been an irritating and exciting few I'm confused if it's a couple of weeks or a couple of days, actually. And when I get into an in-between place, it feels like I am in so much irritability. And what it is it's a birthing cycle. And I am just beside myself with this irritability, but it's a new awareness that's trying to come up. And I don't know why it's so difficult, but that's what it is. And as soon as it comes up, everything just goes peaceful. And there's been quite a bit coming up for me about clearing away the human limiting beliefs that are in my way. And the other thing I've been seeing is that I know we don't use the word God very much, but it just is pulling on me, pulling me into it as a vibration of that which is so beyond anything we can describe, define, understand, or explain. And it's a portal for me. And it's absolutely like a black hole. It's pulling me towards it. And I'm going very, very slow because it feels so powerful. But this is, and I've heard some other people say it too, this is a time we've never been through in all of the history of humanity. And so it's going to be different. And we're going to have to rely more on intuition and allow it to come through and trust it. And I'm okay with that. But every time I have to go into a new realm of being, it's a little scary. It's a little intimidating. I don't know where it's going to actually take me, and it's exciting. So I just go back and forth. And I know this is going to be a really traumatic time for a lot of people, but I know it's going to be a very exciting time for a lot of us people. And so I can't think of a more exciting place to be right now than January 2021. One of the things I heard someone say was that there are some people who are going to be absolutely shocked this month when they wake up to a new awareness that they've been deceived in their belief. And they're going to be shocked and they're going to need help and to be aware and to be understanding and to help them get through that transition. And I just want to put that out there because I think that's really important because it could be really close friends or family who are going to go through this. So I'm complete.
Thank you. These are such beautiful sharings. I am dealing with a level of exhaustion and that I haven't really had to deal with in over a decade. And so I haven't been really doing in the action world very much. I have been reading that The Way of the Rose, which is so delightful. And I have this bracelet I made myself a few years ago, and it's just been sitting there. And now I know what it's for. So I've been playing with rewriting the rosary prayers in a way that feels authentic to me. And it's very soothing. And just kind of holding my own space I don't, you know, I don't have any idea what we as individuals or we as a culture or we in this circle are in for. Um, it feels like this, moment of being poised before, I think maybe not in the crystal circles, but certainly the other circles I've spoken about, having this sense of being at this point where there are so many possible roads that we could take, and there's no clear indication that I see of which is most likely to manifest. And so, just holding my space is really where I've been focusing. And I was gonna continue to nap this afternoon, and then I thought, I'd really like to sit in the energy of this circle. And so I am here and very grateful to be with everyone. And I am complete.
I'm kind of with Emma in that I am preternaturally exhausted, much more than I have been for 3 years. And that was an anomaly. And the first time I experienced this kind of being tired in my whole life. And I can't decide if it's changes, a whole bunch of changes coming that require internal physical and mental and emotional energy, or if it's a more physical thing because of the rheumatoid arthritis that I have and medications and, a more physical thing on this particular plane. Or if it's because, as I've talked about before, I've wanted to step back into a lot of the things that I used to be doing. And one of them is healing work with certain people. And just thinking about it, I'm throwing up barriers to myself. So that's pretty much where I am now. And I'm complete.
I'll go. So I love being where I am. I love being on this land. It is so healthy. It is so beautiful. I'm so busy, what's asked out of me, but it makes me feel productive and gives me a purpose and project. And I'm babysitting my son's dog, and if you can hear them, they're wrestling. Great. Okay. And you know what I'm swimming a lot in is, Sue, the last time you and I were together on one of these calls, you had this profound realization about your abuse and about the divineness and the healing that came in some, you know, and the understanding to offer compassion to the perpetrator. Remember that? It was so beautiful. It was so divine. I have been swimming in that divine energy ever since that call we had probably a month ago or whenever that was, just of how beautiful it is to see the divine everywhere and the way that it plays out. And yeah, so it's just amazing. I mean, it's just, life is good. Life is good. And Susan, who are you in Florida with? Is it you and your husband, or are you with a girlfriend? Okay. Done.
It's really good to be in this circle where we can not only hear each other, know that we are heard, you know, share vulnerabilities as well as insights. That's one of the things that I noticed as I was talking, just, you know, setting space, as I had this pain, really weird pain in my jaw and in my throat, you know, like a sore throat coming on. So I grabbed my paper and pencil and grabbed it because, like you, Arlie, I mean, what is this? And we, you know, have been able to experience what it's like to take that question, whatever the question is. And in this particular circle, it's with how can I best serve the greater good and bring good in a way of working with the crystals and the nature kingdom, you know, earth, fire, air, and water, to broadcast and hold the frequencies of health. That's our question always. And then to listen and act from that place. That's the sun path. That is the sun path. So here's this question. I'm going like, what is that? And I know what to do. We do it every Monday. I won't do it this during our call, but you know, what was that pain? What is that about? Find out. So, you know, as I'm putting together, I'm totally, again, redoing my information and my work, and my, you know, just totally revamping it. And it occurs to me how important it is that we learn concepts, but even more important that we have a place where we can build from the concepts. We learn this, okay, that's good. Then how do we apply it and learn with it? And this is one of those places where we do. We have a concept and we deepen with it. So you're building a depth, we're building a capacity that we can use in other parts of our life too. So our world is being disrupted. We know that. And we're fortunate that we know it. There's reasons behind it. And what we also very fortunate to have various processes tools in our toolbox that we can say, then what do we want to do about the disruption? How do we want to build? And do we have the hammer, nails, screwdriver, saw to do that rebuilding? And we have a lot of that. That's what we're here, holding the architectural plans absolutely solidly in place. I'm going to use the example of Michelle when her heart was dying and LVAD came along. And so I held the reality that her heart could be restored as it rested, letting the LVAD do the work. The heart can rest, it can restore. Okay, hold that reality. And then it became clear that the heart was not going to rebuild, and her heart and LVAD were going downhill. And that's very physical. I mean, that's very physical. And how do I juxtapose my energy work, my woo-woo stuff, into this picture of a very physical deterioration and death? And so I said, is this even valuable? Plan A, she lives. Plan B, her heart dies. And it looked like the heart was winning over here. And that's when my team said to me, she who is the master of energy determines the outcome. And I tell you, I looked at a folder. I had a folder here that I was sorting out. This is it. And it was full of all of the different sessions I'd done on Michelle over the years. And on the front it said Michelle's heart. And I thought, you know, it is not always just an easy, I'm going to hold a reality and it's going to happen. Some things it requires I'm holding the outcome, and I have to be the holder, the master. The energy is there, it's changing. This is what I bring to the table. I hold the outcome. I hold the outcome. I hold the outcome. And it takes sometimes a lot, you know, of energy, of time, tenacity, of confusion, of walking past doubt and getting to the other side of it. And our world is bigger than Michelle's heart in what we're being called for. So what we're doing is no small piece of the puzzle. We have seen the results in our personal life. We've seen the results in maybe those around us. And it would be easy to say, oh, it's done. But all we're doing is seeing the impact of us holding the energy. And it starts here and then it keeps moving outward. And there's still more to do. There's still more to hold. There's still more strength to bring to it. There's more capacity and joy in the process. So I just really applaud that you're here. And we're going to go for the big, what our world is, what it's founded on. So if there's anything anybody wants to say before we do our journey, because we know what our journey, we don't know where our journey is going to take us. We just got to know that we're going to do it. But if there's anything you want to say before journeying, now's the time.
I just wanted to mention one thing. Before I packed up to move out here, I kept feeling this vibe from something, and I'm like, what is this? What is this? What is this? And I go to sleep and I started to really lean in and focus on it. And I realized it was one of my stones calling me. I mean, oh my gosh. And it was a gift that was given to me. Sharon, it was given to me by one of the facilitators at the, where you and I first met, that Awesome Women, Awesome Women Hub, yeah. And I spent the night with her. She offered, before I had to drive back home to Portland anyway, she gifted me, and it's a rose quartz disc. And I had filed it away, oh my gosh, maybe 2 years ago. And, but it has been like, you need me, why am I put away? And so when I'm looking at Susan in her pink and her glowing, and I agree, Sue, it's like, it's glorious. You look absolutely fantastic. I'm like, oh, I was, because I brought it here and I've set up this huge altar with all of these amazing crystals, because when I found this rose quartz disc, I found all these other crystals that I had packed away, and they are now singing and vibrating. And I didn't think to bring them and show them to you, but I love that my coming back into the fold of these amazing 3 groups is starting off with the crystal broadcasters, because I've got this whole altar of little baby crystals that, oh, they're just so valuable and lovely. So I just thought I'd bring in the energy of my crystals.
So as we are immersed in this field, we feel very honored and appreciative to be here, to be together, to be in this field together. And there is a strength and a clarity and a focus and a joy here today that has been being built over the last year. It's a different feeling. It's a deeper feeling. And we appreciate that sensation holding us. So as you imagine yourself in that sacred space that's yours, that is showing up for you and this work today, just notice where you are. Beach, in a forest, in a meadow, on a cloud. In inner earth, there are so many places that could call to you. And whichever one is calling you is so perfect. Look around, there is your team. See if there's anyone missing, or is there anyone to add? We are the architects of the plan. We are the designers of the plans. We are holding the foundational energy songs for the world that is, that reflects our divine homes, our families. So the question for your team is, where am I most powerfully and effectively called to be? What am I to learn, to activate, to participate in? I am prepared, I am ready. And as they take and move you, feel their love, their rejuvenating power. And we'll meet back here when we're complete. Okay, so let's go around, and this time, once you share what you've received, then you, whoever's sharing, I won't use you again, Susan, you know, count to about 5 and then tag the next person. And my suggestion is, in that quiet space, what is it that we each feel or called to do in relationship to the information? It might be able to say yes, or see it anchored, or imagine it, you know, is there something in that quiet space that we might be called to how we might be called to be with that information. So it's not just silence, although that's really important, but also in the silence, what emerges for you in relationship to the information. So, and then, so we'll share, allow about 5 to 10 quiet counts, and then you tag the next person. Let's start with Arlie.
Okay. When you first started suggesting places we might want to start the journey, I thought I would probably go to a Pacific Northwest forest, which is a biome that I absolutely love and always feel drawn to. No, that is not where I went at all. Instead, I went to deep, dark outer space. And I was floating, kind of spaceman ejected from rocket sort of floating. Then rays of light started shooting out of my hands like a superhero or your basic megalomaniac. And I noticed, but it wasn't draining my energy because there were a million points of light that were shooting rays into me. And the message I got was, because I'm the one in a physical body, I'm the one who can make use of the energy and make something happen. So I asked if there was one place in particular that I should be directing this energy to the earth. And at first it looked like I was heading down toward the oceans, toward water. But then I found myself on like a village street, just a regular street anywhere, with people and some cars and little shops and all that. But I noticed that I was in a protected golden bubble, a bubble of protection. And I was given to know that this was to keep unintended energy leak, to keep people, things, entities from slurping off my energy, so that I could direct where it went. And I noticed that there were ornaments all over this protective bubble. Beautiful, you know those glass blown balls that have stuff in it that are made out of volcanic ash, the really pretty ones? Well, I had lots of those. And I knew that some of them were meant to attract people to me, or events or experiences, and some of them were meant to lead me places, to take me somewhere that I was meant to go. And that's what I saw today. And I would like to call on Susan.
Well, it was a crazy busy day of energy work. So I was curious where they would take me. But they asked me, I've been sitting on the patio every day about this time and watching the sunset from the patio. And what emerges is this beautiful shimmering path of light out to the sun as it sets. So they had me walk over to the windows and just stand in the sun, and just in the center of the sun. I heard them say, hold all the possibilities. The rays of the sun hold all the possibilities for the highest good of all. So it was just about standing in that light and holding the highest timelines and the highest possibilities in this present moment, in this present time. Now, the sunsets here, since we've been here, have been very subtle, very soft, not very brilliant and bright. The colors have not been stunning, I would say, as you would guess. I opened my eyes and I had to take a picture because it's truly the energy of this circle and the work that we do, that we had this, I don't know, can you see this sunset? The brilliant rays, I don't know, is it reflecting? I could pull it back a little, but it's absolutely stunning, and the rays coming off the picture, the phone doesn't do it justice, but found this brilliant, amazing sunset for today. So thank you, because I know it's the energy of this beautiful circle and the work that we all do that allow this magnificent unfolding. I could send it to Sharon and she can send it out in an email so you can all see the stunning beauty that you called into creation, all these beautiful possibilities. And I'm complete. And I will call on Sue.
Thank you. So I'm still being shown that deserts are broadcasting. Every single particle of sand holds energy, codes, information, and together they're like an orchestra. And it is releasing that which it's been holding for eons. And salt is releasing information that it's been holding. Now, are sand and salt considered crystals? Okay, that's why the three words keep coming together. So I first saw myself in a crystal cave. Then but I know it's not a crystal. I see myself in a crystal cave, but I know the sand and the salt are all represented together. So I stopped trying to analyze that and just moved on. And it's about the information. So what the information is coming in so fast, I'm having a little trouble keeping up with it and not becoming that overwhelming fatigue that used to come with getting information. This time I didn't today go into that fatigue. That is such an accomplishment. That's such a gift. I didn't accomplish anything. That's a gift. Okay. So the old way was a new awareness and then shock and fatigue and sometimes a lot of anger. And it's a cycle. Mine would start off with anger or irritability, and then it would come up and I'd feel, and I'd have the information and I'd be at peace and I'd feel like I'd reached heaven. And then the irritability would come back and I just would hate the world and everybody in it. You know, I'd just go from one extreme to the other and I would hit a lot of fatigue. But I knew the fatigue, I finally got to the point where I knew the fatigue is just part of the cycle. So today, it's like in this meditation, I need to do this different. And so I saw the new. And I've seen this before, I just hadn't tied it in together. The new journey is at any given moment in time, a person will go from whatever their old consciousness is into a new consciousness and have no memory of the past. That they were a drunk or an addict or a theft or a perpetrator or an extremely abusive individual, it's like they would just wake up and go, huh, I don't know what all of this is about, but I know what I'm going to do next, sort of thing. And it's like a huge quantum leap from a timeline of really low awareness, energy, consciousness to a much higher, where that you're connected more to life and have a respect for life. So I am thinking what it looks like I have reached a point where I'm receiving this information, and it's coming in as soon as I can get to where I ask a question. I wonder how, I wonder what would be, what does this person need that all I do is go in and be open. I don't even have to do the words anymore. I just go inside. Someone's talking to me, they're stuck. I just go inside and go, and I'm open, and it just flows out. So this used to happen years ago, and then I didn't understand what it was, and now it's back flowing, and I understand what it is, and I understand it's not scary, and it doesn't leave me feeling so vulnerable that I'm afraid of who I'm talking to is going to shut me down. So I just keep changing with all of this, but the crystals are talking to us, and I know all of nature is talking to us. I'm just not as in tune with that as I am right now with sand and salt, with crystals. And I turn my salt lamp off at night so I can sleep. But I really need to leave it on all night because it has such a positive effect. It literally, the light comes on and then dark energies disappear. So I'm thinking I need to leave it on and just put a face mask on. But since we've been dealing with masks for almost a year, I'm having trouble to put the eye mask on after wearing the mouth mask. So, okay, that's funny, but I need to get past it. And what I'm finding is every time we share, it adds to my understanding. It adds to my feeling of being connected, that each one time we share, it adds a dimension to where I am. It just expands because we're all connected in the same journey. And it's an inner journey, and it just keeps expanding. So, whoa, this is going to be one exciting ride. And Cinda, if you wait 5 more seconds.
Oh my gosh. So, so before I talk about what I share, there was something that happened to me over Christmas, which sort of validates what I've been shown in other of our travels, as well as kind of what I was shown just now. So for Christmas, my kids and my husband bought me a message from Deepak Chopra. So he recorded a message. Hey, Cinda, this is Deepak, Dr. Deepak Chopra, and I'm here representing your family and to give you this message. And so my name was on one screen, so he kept looking away to make sure he got my name right. And then he looked into the camera, and I'm like totally blown away that this beautiful teacher that that has been such an influence on my wake up, my spiritual wake up, has that, saying my name. And but as I'm listening to him, now that he's looking at me through his camera lens, I there was a part of me that was saying, please tap in, tap in, tap in, after I got over the initial shock of, what am I watching? What is this? And I wanted him, and I hope that he would tap into who I am and the energy of who I am, and so that the message would be very unique and feel very personal. And he said a little bit of an outline of what my family had given him. I just want to thank you for the work that you've been doing as a spiritual counselor and as a and all the spiritual work that you're doing as a coach. And so he kind of went down like that. But then he went and he said, Cinda, just keep, and he went on to say, keep doing this and keep doing that. But the most important thing is the work that you are doing is taking us to this level of a tipping point where then all the work that we are doing will then transform and become part of mass consciousness, which is exactly what I was shown with the 30%, right? The 33.33333% of the population is all that needs to raise the level of their game and to share with the world this higher energy, this higher frequency, which is just what Sue is talking about, which is the energy of the sun, which Susan is talking about, which is this being, this energy and these rays of what Arlie was talking about. I'm like, we just need to get to this point. And so in my travels, I close my eyes and instantly Grace shows up again, and she pulls me up into the cosmic sphere, and we're looking down. I've really been off of the news, so I don't know a lot of what's going on. I'm not avoiding it. It's just there hasn't been time to sit and listen. And so I don't know what's going on, but I pull back and we're watching, and there is concern and there's worry and there's fear and there's deception and all the things that you guys were talking about in the opening of this. And people are concerned and they're tired and they're depressed and they're worried and they're afraid. And Grace's message to me was, really all that needs to happen is those who are awake need to raise the level of their game. If we fight the battle at the same level that the fight is being instigated, if we battle at that same energetic level, there will be no winners. What we need to do is we need to raise the level of the game. By raising the level of the game, we hold everyone accountable to potential consequences of what they're doing. Meaning, when we raise our frequency, when we raise our vibration, those that are of a lower frequency, those who are feeling the battle, the stress, and wanting to fight at that level are, the energy will be altered, and they will potentially see things differently, like the consequences of their actions if they continue at this rate. And I'm like, okay, so how do we help people raise their game? And she goes, literally do what you're doing in this group. I mean, take Sharon's teachings, the Deep Six, the PTO, the Take and Transform, absolutely continue with that, but literally raise your consciousness whenever you're in an environment, when you're feeling tired, when you're feeling depressed, when you're feeling stressed, when you're angry, when there's hate, when there's concern, worry, fear, raise yourself literally out of what you're feeling so you can look down, like Grace is saying we're doing now, and see it for what it is. Because I think even Sue was saying, the second we raise the frequency, we shift the energy, not just in the room, but on the planet. And by doing this over and over and over and over and over again, it's like when the people who can't quite get there, their frequency will start to rise. And when it does, they will be altered, and kind of like Sue was saying, there'll be this amnesia, you know, of who they were, because they will be shown of what is possible. They'll be shown before it happens the potential consequences if they continue doing that. But the only way that's going to happen if someone is being accountable to raise the level of the playing field, raise the level of the game. And we do that by also not only raising our own consciousness in the moment, but also while we're doing that, be these emanators, if that's a word, of light, love, divine grace, beauty, peace, power. So that was lovely. Take 5 seconds. Emma.
Thanks, everybody. So a lot of what I saw was personal, just in terms of dealing with what I'm dealing with. But at some point, I'm generally under the earth. That's my most comfortable. That's my go-to place. But this time, I was taken into the air, and I said, "Well, it was just air. It wasn't like the earth was below or anything. It was just like the pure essence of airness." And I said, "Well, how do you know where you're going? Because there's no landmarks." And what I got was that we're in such a new space, which we've each talked about in different ways, that we don't have any familiar landmarks. I am someone who's really good at directions. It's almost impossible for me to get lost. And one of the worst things about living in Eugene, Oregon was that I was lost all the time because there were no landmarks, there were only people marks. And I couldn't find my way. And so this is a similar kind of more of a global thing where we're in such a new space that there are no landmarks, and we need to create our own, create the landmarks that we need to know that we're going in the direction. Now, we do that primarily through these circles in terms of, our discernment. Is it of the light? Is it not of the light? But to become more and more aware of how we are creating and using our landmarks to create these new systems, these new ways of being in the world. So that's pretty much what I got. And let's see, Sue and Cinda and Arlie. Susan, did you go yet? Okay, so it's you, Sharon.
Okay, so where I was shown to go was in relationship to some work that started with a galactic circle on Saturday. I have a friend, Anitza Anderson, who has worked with the UN for, 20 plus years, gone into places where trauma has happened to specifically work with those who have experienced trauma from war and from devastations of those kinds. So rape camps, stuff, etc. Bosnia, Serbia, various places in Africa, etc. And so for the Guardian Circles, they said, we want to have you connect into Danitza so that we can follow the threads that she has created. That gives us a route into those areas specifically. to bring in the guardian circle and start doing the dissipation work with the guardian circle protocol. So that's what we did on Saturday. So today they said, okay, now we're ready for the crystals to wake up in those areas. Well, I'd never thought about that before. They said, yes, the crystals in each of those areas have codes. So you don't have to go like broadcast and create the broadcasting of the programs. The Mother Earth has the codes to rejuvenate areas. And we're going to start with all of those spaces that you gave us permission to work within in Danitza's network. So I held that space and they said, okay, now what we want you to do is that we want permission to go into all the political, because we've done a lot of work in various circles into different places in our country as it relates to political conclaves and with guardian circles and others. So they wanted now us to give Mother Earth permission to activate the crystallines and elements, the codes within Gaia that she has to rejuvenate those specific spaces. So I did that and held that space. And they said, okay, now we want permission to go in to those various places, because we've also worked with children who have been trapped in sex trafficking and pedophilia, those kinds of situations. We've done that work in the Crystal Broadcasters. And so now they said, what we want is to then have Mother Earth and the crystalline kingdom and the elemental kingdom activate the codes for those spaces and those, it wasn't so much the children because we've kind of moved them out, but the spaces where that energy is held, we've put in guardian circles, and now they want one of the crystalline kingdom codes to be activated for those places. And so that's what we did. Oh. So as you sit and contemplate what would have been missed had you not been here, what piece would have been missed? You know, it takes such a small amount of effort on our part because we're doing well, we're safe, we're held well. It would be easy to just say, okay, well, let me do something else with this time. And yet, look what you did. Just amazing. So if there's anything else anybody wants to say before we get ready to do hugs.
I would like to, wow, Sharon, what you were shown is so powerful to think about. There could be damaged people on damaged land. I mean, we all could think about a million of them, right? And to think that all that Gaia needs right now is for us to hold space for the crystalline kingdom, the crystals, the sand, Sue, the salt of that land to be re-energized, reactivated, to just hold space for that so it could clear and cleanse and come back to its natural state to help heal itself, as well as, I mean, that's what I took away from you. I hope I understood that correctly. But that is so empowering to know that that is an option. Thank you. May I say something else? Sorry, Sue. But if we could do it for the land, we could do it for ourselves, because we have the salt within our bodies. We are made of salt water. So if there's those of us who are struggling, especially with our emotions right now, If all we need to do is work with Gaia to activate the crystals within us, then that will help transform us and help us raise our frequency, help us bring us back to better health, both mentally, emotionally, and physically, by working to activate the energy of the salt crystals within us.
The only thing that limits us from healing body, mind, and soul is we just don't know. We just don't know anything beyond what we've been shown or told. And so in our meditations, we're being shown what we've never seen before. We've never understood before. So yeah, the only reason we haven't healed every single thing about ourselves is we've been missing how to do it. And it's all being revealed now. I'm just as excited as you guys are, because everything we're getting is supporting what we are each getting. And through our energy centers, our intuition, our heart center, it's like all of Mother Earth, nature. That's why we keep being pulled into nature, why we enjoy being at the water, why we enjoy being in the mountains, in our gardens. It's nature's trying to talk to us, and I think we're going to start hearing more and more and more, and it's just going to be really different than what we've heard before. So by Wednesday, by next week, we could be very different people just because we're so much more aware and open, and it's unlimited now. The possibilities are unlimited of what we will be able to do.
I just have to, at this moment, bring in an aspect. In '89, when I asked, what's the cause of our entrapping cycles of pain? They didn't say it's because you don't know, although that is really part of it. But what we didn't know is the outsider's presence. And they have said to me all along, when the outsider's presence is gone, all of the laws that you've been told about will work. And so that, the fact that we are in this place, we are experiencing the truth of that. It's like, why weren't we doing this 20 years ago? Because we didn't have the information of the outsiders. We were still blinded. Now, there may have been groups who had it. I don't know. I was told there wasn't. But the difference is the outsider energy is becoming so extinct that those truths that is truth for us is now present for our use. And that's what I was told in early 90s, and here it is. And what was that? It's not that long ago in the scheme of our life on the planet. So I really, really want to acknowledge those who have been with me in doing this work for the last 20, 25 years. And some of them, are doing their life somewhere else, but they've helped make this moment possible. So, thank you.
Susan's brought the sunset into her room. She's all orange and yellow now. She has a skill to change.
She's a shapeshifter.
Oh, Sharon, that's beautiful. I know that my whole world changed when I became aware of your teachings. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're not there just to have more information. They're there to understand, to heal the past, so we're in this moment free. That's the purpose of that, really. And pretty soon it'll be a mute point. Extinct is what we want of the outsiders. Okay, loves. Until we're together again, be held by this great energy.
Yeah, just want to tell Emma, think pink, girl, think pink. It'll help.
Yeah,
Thanks.
good.
Thanks, Cinda. Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone. What a beautiful gathering.
I'm glad you're able to be with us, Emma.
Yeah,
too.
so grateful. Your picture's gorgeous too. It looks like dragon wings.
When I take my glasses off and I hold it just far enough away, it looks like an angel.
Absolutely. Wings of some kind, but it looks almost like leather, like they're
Yeah.
wings. That beautiful leaf, it's huge.
Okay, lots of love.